Hi, my name is John Rampton, and I am here with Bruce Clay. Today we're going to be talking about internet marketing in general and your cube theory.
Right.
So could you go a little bit into that?
Yeah. The problem that I think we've had in general as an industry is relating to the connectivity between social and pay-per-click and SEO and where does architecture fit in and where's conversion and analytics and overall, where does content fit in? And it turns out that we have taken and built a sort of a data cube model which allows us to see the relationship between these various pieces. For instance, architecture, if you don't have an architecture, you're not going to rank, you're not going to get traffic, people are going to visit your site, they're going to bounce off. Architecture is good. It impacts conversion and SEO and quality scores and everything else.
Now, when you talk about architecture, are you referring to design in general or the architecture behind the design of your site, blog, infrastructure, everything?
Architecture begins before you even have a facade, before wireframes. I mean, you have to understand, how do people search for your site? I mean, what is it they're going to type in and how are you going to get your traffic? And then when they land on your site, is your site structured in such a way that there's a clear hierarchy, they can easily navigate? You do that before you even build the site. So architecture is a very high level thing. It's very often dependent upon keyword structures and things like that. Once you have keyword structures and architecture in a structure chart, if you will, of your site, what you have to do is you then have to map the content into it. Right? So content is critical. And the biggest problem you have with content is, I want to rank in the top 3 out of 1 million results. I better have reputable site and content and high authority and people want to buzz about it. I mean, I have to tie it in. So you have architecture and you have content as layers. Then under that you have the actual implementation layer, which is SEO or PPC or social media. Those kinds of things that are going to actually be in the face of the people that are looking for your content, right? So you have architecture, content, then you have the 3 blocks, which are SEO, PPC, and social media. Then that traffic has to somehow be counted. So you have another layer, which is your analytics layer, and then once you count it, you're very depressed because everybody is not converting. Then you have to have a conversion layer. So you have 2 layers, 3 blocks, 2 layers, and it forms a cube. And what you need to understand about how that fits together is the subtleties of it. For instance, in social media, the question would be, I go to social media now when I'm hunting for a product. I used to go to Google and just start typing in keywords and visit 100 sites. Now I just say, anybody here buy a plasma television? Which brand did you like and is it any good? And my 10,000 friends that I've never met will tell me which ones I like.
From India, India, of course.
Usually.
Usually with an affiliate link maybe attached.
And they'll tell me which ones they like, and then I disconnect from social, and I go over to Google and type in the product. Right? So there's an attribution failure in there, and there's a lot of things that you start getting into about how do I, in internet marketing, do this. So what we're doing is we're developing the model around the ability to make a change and measure an impact even across an attribution failure, which is really advanced stuff. So if I post, for instance, an ad in Facebook, my pay-per-click spend goes up. Direct cause and effect, but there's no direct cause and effect here, right?
Agreed.
And you have to be able to measure that. So the concept that we have taken for what we call internet marketing optimization is that we have to optimize each of the pieces and we have to measure cause and effect so that we can actually tune that environment. And that's really what internet marketing at an optimization level is all about.
So how would the average business owner, obviously they miss like 90% of what you're going at right there, how would they start along this path? How would they get started? The average business owner in the world doesn't know anything about this. How would you suggest that they get started?
By the way, you're 110% right.
Yes.
You could walk up to any business owner out there, and they might have heard SEO, or they might have heard social media, or
I'd imagine all of them have heard about SEO and they've been ripped off by a company in certain parts of the world, or by some company, or had a bad experience. I think most of them know it, but what can they do?
But they don't know how this cube works and the relationship between the pieces.
Yeah.
Right? And in most cases where we have our opportunity, what we have seen as an opportunity is where people are getting into a redesign cycle.
Yep.
Where they say, hey, my site is 3 years old, I got to refresh it, or I got hit with a penalty, I got to dig my way out, or any of those that cause them to retrench because they've become dependent upon the success of the internet.
Yeah.
And then they lost something, and they are going to fight and spend money to get it back because they've already tasted the good life from the internet. And those are the first catalysts. If I were to create a site right now and I'd want to promote it, we'd have to analyze your keywords.
Yep.
We determine that they're local or not local. We determine what your competitive nature is. I mean, are you playing against Amazon or are you not? I mean, where are you playing? We have to determine how big the battle is, and then we have to come up with a strategy. And in our business, every single site is a different strategy.
Yeah.
Trust me. Validate your keywords. Well, you might want to do some pay-per-click. Let's find out if people are actually going to click on these things and buy from me.
Yeah, and convert at all.
Architecture. Hey, I've got keywords I'm trying to get, but I don't have any content for it. Your social media. Gee, guys, this is high maintenance.
Takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. We do a lot of blog posts. I mean, our blog is very popular. We do newsletters. We do white papers ourselves. It's costing me, I don't know, $60,000 a month to feed that monster. The average company isn't going to spend that.
No.
And when the owner says, yes, I'm going to do a blog post, every single week I'm going to do a blog post, usually at the end of 2 or 3 weeks, it's next week I'm going to do my blog post.
It's always tomorrow.
It's always tomorrow. And it's because life intervenes, and you have to really kind of do an all-in kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You have to say, this is a commitment, 6 months worth, put the money aside and make it happen. Because if you don't do it that way, it's not going to happen, and you've just wasted money.
Yeah, agreed. Well, thank you very much for your time, Bruce. Again, John Rampton here with Bruce Clay.